people in Far East, like Eastern Asia, like Japan, for example, or China, but people from there don't really watch me. After all, yeah, this will be much better for Europe, India, for USA, and people from those countries, from those, well, regions, watch the streams. I expect this to be indeed better schedule for everybody. And now I will try to stream quite regularly. In particular, every Tuesday evening, I will do some difficult problem solving. I might get guests on Tuesday. Excuse me. You know, like both my friends from Poland, like from Warsaw, but also from abroad. You know, if people like, who is the most known tourist? If tourist wants to join me one Tuesday, then sure, he's welcome. People from the USA with good sleep schedules, not me, then get a good sleep schedule because it's healthy. Radeusz, yeah, sure, he can. I already invited a few people. Maybe next week before we will get somebody. Why don't I make tutorial videos? I make them from time to time. 12 AM gang from Asia here. Well, you cannot satisfy everybody with the schedule, right? I don't need this. Don't need code verses. I will start in 1-2 minutes. Nope. Yep, and we can start. This, if you are in Twitch chat, you can type !today, and you will have a link to the contest. Or do I also have a command for the contest? I don't think so. If I have one, then let me know. This should not work. Contest, problems. Oh, there is a command for contest. No, I need to fix that. These commands. Doing this. And now you can type contest and it will work. Yeah. So what? XOR battle is what I solved during the contest, like a few months ago. When was this contest? Is there a... doesn't say. My submissions, this will say. This is June, the 7th of June of this year, a few months ago. And if you look at standings, I have around 80th place. I solved A very quickly. Yeah, 150th place. I solved A very quickly, then couldn't solve anything else. And I will upsolve today. Generally, if you Google checklist Atcoder, I'm going to populate this table for myself. I will upsolve a lot of problems in the coming months. Atcoder Grand Contests, Errichto. Yeah, you see, the green are problems I solved. Not a lot of them. I'm doing this row today. This one. Unbalance. So, well, I can as well go from here. 0 and unbalanced. Given is a string, some characters are question marks. Replace question marks with zeros and ones. Find the minimum possible unbalancedness of S. then we usually treat this 0 and 1 thing as a graph going up and down. We want to replace question marks in order to not go far away from 0. Let's make a drawing. Let's make a drawing. Where was that? Tools. Verify. Okay. So it's something like that. When we go up, it's an edge up. Then let's say down, 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 up, up, down, down. And let's say we finish here. This corresponds to string 1, 0, 0, and so on. And here we care about the difference between the number of zeros and ones. Yeah, that's just the difference between heights of 2 points. From here to here is the biggest difference of heights, or from here to there. Let's consider this one. So in this interval from here to here, the number of downs is 5, ups 2, the difference is 3. If there are no question marks, then I can just count this max and min in linear time. Otherwise, what? I can do stuff greedily. This cannot be any DP because length of the string is too big. Yeah, down is -1. I treat up as 1 and down as -1. Binary search. I don't know how it will help me because if I know the one of those points, where is the highest or where the lowest, then I can maybe binary search on the other. But if I binary search the answer, it's just that the question becomes, can drawing fit in this height, like between some top and bottom line? But I don't know where to put them, so I cannot really make any decisions. 2 pointers, don't know how. I already spent during the contest like half an hour on this problem, maybe, I don't remember exactly. So it's very likely that now the same thing will happen. Then I'm not going to spend again half an hour. I will sooner look at the editorial. Wait. Yeah, so okay, I'm back. I think you need to consider blocks of consecutive question marks. I don't think that consecutive will be important. Or maybe. If there are a lot of question marks in a row, then one, then question marks, does it really matter that this one is here? What if there are no 2 question marks in a row? What do we do then? So, well, there are some points equal to maximum and some equal to minimum. Let's say light blue will be here, red will be maximum. If there is any question mark, what it does, I can decide to shift the whole right drawing. What's up with this again? The whole right part of the drawing by 1 up or down. If there is something before the first extremum, minimum or maximum, if now, let's say here, there is also a question mark in this moment, and I need to decide about it, I think it doesn't matter what I decide. What about this? If in a row we have 0 and 1, maybe we can compress that. Maybe we can remove it. We will just know that this part goes down and then again up. If there's a long part without question marks, I will just remember the shape of this part and how much we go up, and that's it. Then every part without question marks becomes something like this. And let's say that blue will denote a question mark. We can decide something. Here maybe 2 question marks or 3. The shape between question marks doesn't matter. It only matters, okay, if at the end both maximum and minimum are on the right, then it doesn't matter how I decide about this question mark, how I decided about this question mark. There can be a few maximum, a few minimum. Let's say that light green will be minimum. Then, of course, here this is not the case because the minimum is here. Or maybe first, all question marks should be, let's say, down, and then in some order I change them. Let's say everything goes down, then I find where the minima are, and it doesn't make sense to shift up any minimum after the first one. Let's say that there are a few minimum here, 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 here. Then if there was something, some question mark here, and I decide to, let's say you go down, you go up, no, it doesn't make any sense. Only question marks before the first minimum. Then this will raise all those green things. Should I take the last question mark before the first minimum and change it to go up? It will not mess up the answer, because I shift minimum by 1 up. Maximum also can be shifted by 1 up, but it doesn't mess up the answer. Yeah, that's my idea. Okay. Let me write this down. So step 1, replace all question marks with zeros. I mean, every question mark with a 0. Step 2, repeatedly find positions of minimum in a graph. Find the rightmost, so the last question mark, before the leftmost minimum. And then to be, change it from 0 to 1. So then find the rightmost question mark currently being 0. Just keep doing it. Once we cannot find this, it means we cannot do anything. Can you replace 0 with -1? Yeah, obviously for a graph, we treat 0 as -1. Sure. Sure. Every block allows you to shift by any number within plus minus block size. There is also parity. Sure, but in particular there can be no two consecutive question marks. And then that's about previous comments regarding caring about the full block of question marks. The fact that I treat it as a block doesn't help, because I couldn't previously solve a problem even if no two question marks are in a row. Okay. It's quite easy to do this in quadratic time. Can I do it faster? Do I need segment trees or something like that? The rightmost question mark. These question marks that are currently -1s, I can keep that, for example, in a set. Then it's easy with lower bound at minus to find the rightmost position before position 10, for example. Easy. This, well, when we're talking about minimum, it's about prefix sum, because the height in this drawing. So the fact that I change something, it means I raise the whole suffix. So in a segment tree, I need to be able to add to interval and find minimum. If there are multiple minima, find the leftmost one. Add to interval, a segment tree with operations. Add to interval, and I only add positive values, but I don't know if that matters. Find leftmost minimum. And this is always to a suffix and always to bigger and bigger suffix. So always it's the same leftmost minimum, or maybe I found something even smaller on the left. I don't need any lazy propagation here, because there will be some suffix I keep modifying. I can just remember that leftmost minimum there, and then there are a few more elements. I will handle, whenever I find a new better question mark, I will just go from previous question mark to this new one. Previously I kept increasing in suffix of size 7, now it will be 10, so just linearly add those three elements, consider them. If you replace -1 with +1, the whole graph shifts up by 2. Max minus min can only increase. What? No. I don't agree with this comment. No. My goal is to increase minimum, and maybe I'm lucky that maximum doesn't increase. If maximum is already in that suffix that I'm affecting, then sure, the difference doesn't change. Or maybe it will get worse because there was also some maximum on the left. Not really. But I will, as long as I'm able to find this better question mark on the left from blah blah, then I can only improve the answer. Yeah, let's do that. Nux is my default name for maximum n. Let's create a sequence. I have empty prefix that will have sum of 0. Initial 0. Prefix sums at this plus, and now I care about the value of this character. If s of I is 1, we are already +1. 0 will be -1, but also if this is a question mark, then available, still available question marks, insert I. Prefix bug plus value. Let's use a full name, will be easier to read. This is available question marks. Available to change from -1 to +1. Okay. Repeatedly find minimum in the whole thing. I once will do it with brute force. Okay, I will, as an extra, ask only about prefix of this array of prefix values. Let's call this sum. So sum of, for example, 3. Sum of 0 is for empty prefix. Sum of 3 is s of 0 plus s of 1 plus s of 2. Okay. Now I want to know prefix minimum. And let's say that it will be 2 indices. Index and value. For 0 it will be just I want to say this value comma index but if I is not 0, p is minimum of p and prefix min dot back, the previous thing. This. Okay, now for the prefix of sum, I know where the smallest element is, the leftmost of them in case of ties. What's going on in the chat? Some random things. As a reminder, today is a stream on quite difficult problems. If you're asking questions like how to learn C++ or something like that, then, or like how to practice competitive programming, you will not benefit from this stream, really. Leftmost min is prefix min of everything dot second. This gives position. Okay. Wait, did I want minimum? Yes, minimum. And repeatedly. Available question marks. Find the lower bound of this. Do it minus minus, so now it will be previous before that. But this is already available dot begin. You cannot do minus minus then break. There is no question mark. Question mark can improve the situation. But in this case, we use this question mark to change from -1 to +1. The whole suffix increases by 2. like this, and additionally I move from previous position to current position. Leftmost min is this. I consider this to be now better minimum, then this should be just a pair. Let's call it left min because I keep misspelling that. Left min. Like that. Second is, first is value, second is index. Second is index. Wait, why do I want to iterate like this? There is some sequence, and let's say there are values -2, -2, -2. I'm looking for that best question mark before them. Let's say those are minima. Now the best question mark is here. What will happen? Those -2s, they will increase to 0. Let's get another example. -5 will change to -3, and I consider that here. And I also need to consider this. No, because no -5 was here, so those elements are not better. But maybe there is some -4 here, or -3. Because everything here increases by +2. I just need to ask pref min of this position, because maybe you are better. Why do I do this? This seems stupid. Min dot first, the value increases by 2. The index becomes the index of a modified question mark. No. The index doesn't change. Okay, but what I need to do is this. On the left from this, maybe there is number better than -3. And now I'm done, with exception of +/-1 things. This way I modified some elements. So this will also do that. If you are still a question mark, then this means I didn't change you. Now I can print the string. No, we don't print the string, we print the value. But I will just analyze this. Small is 0, big is 0, prefix sum 0, unless I already used that. Okay, didn't. This was a comment. The last thing is to be careful about plus minus 1 indices there. In this place, in this place. I think that's it. I can print that to see in a moment what it is. Left min is -3 and 3. After all the things, just like I wrote here, sum of 3 is this. Indeed, after all 3 characters, the sum is -3 because we go down, down, down. Fine. While true, find lower bound on this index. Do minus minus. This will give you a question mark to modify. This should be 2. Index equal to 2 first. Yes, index equal to 2. Left min dot first plus equal to, yeah, we modify the value. Now we ask about this, about things before that. Let's think about it. After that, yes, seems okay. So it is 1, fine. So for a moment I will have 0 question mark 1. So indeed minimum is after that, and I will try to modify it to fix it. Does it hurt that I modified? Maybe I'm modifying too much. This seems fine. Then can I do this? 0, 1, 1. Is my solution completely wrong? I think that this string is the only one with optimal unbalancedness. I think that my solution is completely wrong. I wonder if I got exactly the same thing during the contest. Damn it. It isn't correct to modify that last question mark. If I change it, if I start with this and I first modify the last question mark to 1, there is no way to get the optimal unbalancedness. Well, and to YouTube chat, if you want live chat, go to Twitch, link in the description. And if you want to keep talking on YouTube chat, do it in English and about programming or the stream, not other things. Maybe somebody in the chat knows the solution and can tell me if I can fix that in any way. I should have simulated my solution first on this very short sample test. Hexum, Everall Storm, yes, so what? Am I close in any way? You can establish two lower bounds, one with all question marks as 0, and the other with all ones. I believe the max lower bound will always be attainable, but you'll have to work out edge cases. Yeah, but for sure, changing everything to zeros or everything to ones is stupid. For example, for a string with all question marks. And it's not that I can just take the average of something. I don't see how that helps. Xun won this round. And then he did a little bit better than I did with my 150th place. Yeah, nice. So this problem is solvable in 13 minutes. To my defense, many people solve that in much more time. Actually, C was easier, or at least more people solved it. Sort by type and keep cutting in half. I don't know what that means. I can get some hint. Kevin, do you want to give me one? I drew a graph, found all the minimums, and I said that, like, first modified all question marks into -1s, then I modified the last question mark before the first minimum. This was my solution, but it's wrong. This is not true. I simulated this without a segment tree, but the algorithm was wrong, not the implementation. What else can I do? And again, I'm thinking about something greedy. If you fix the answer, can you check if you can keep the sum in some range 0 to k? Why from 0 to k? Okay, but I will go through the hint. Fix the answer, can you check if you can keep it in some range? Okay, I think I can. Let's make a drawing again. I start from 0, I make some moves. Let's say all question marks are, they go up first. And once I want to cross some forbidden boundary, like the next move would be this. I need to change the last question marks, or the first, I think the last unchanged question mark, into move down. Maybe this was the last such question mark, then instead I change it to this, and then the next two moves are fine. And I don't have that anymore. if I ever apparently need to cross the 0 thing, then it's bad. But this is for trying to keep everything, every perfect sum in a range from 0 to k. If I want to get some other minimum, this would be the quadratic algorithm. Iterate over the minimum and try to get from minimum to k. So let's say from a to b. A is a negative number. Then I can do the same. Okay, I can start with range 0k. I can simulate everything. And then I can change this to -1 and only something will happen. It seems that I only care about this upper bound. Okay, so if it's only about the upper bound, if I want to get the drawing to all be smaller equal k, there is some upper bound. I simulate everything and I keep stuff below the red line. When I change it from k to k minus 1, or maybe moving up will be easier. When I move down, maybe earlier I trigger moving with some question mark. Maybe it makes sense to, that might sound crazy, but I need to push it by 2. Well, actually, maybe I'm wrong from the very beginning to think about prefix and suffix sums. I mean prefix sums, minimum and maximum of that. But I think if I push this boundary down by 2, then there will be some first moment when the drawing is bad. On the left from that moment, I find the last question mark. I modify it from +1 to -1. The whole suffix shifts down, and the drawing becomes good again. And this way, maybe I get the best drawing for every upper bound for the drawing. Is that correct? And I would need to start from like this red line on the level n, and also separately on the level n-1. From each of them, so run the algorithm twice. Starting from n, then keep pushing it down by 2, n-2, n-4, n-6, same for n-1. The reason why I jump down by 2 is that when I modify one move from +1 to -1, prefix sums will change by 2. Can we put our ideas in chat? Yes. After I spend so much time on the problem. So the thing that's hard is trying to stay in range of this, because you haven't fixed these bounds. But if you fix what your max and min will end up with, it is easier. Well, if you want me to fix both, then I can binary search the answer and then iterate over where the max and min will be. But then I would need to very quickly say for these particular bounds if it's possible or not. Why did you not try binary searching over the answer to start with? I thought about binary searching, just didn't know how I should use the answer. I talked about that at the very beginning. Can't you binary search? Yeah, but what do we do after? Don't want to iterate, like actually fix the interval 0k. But why 0? Why 0? Like, it matters where the minimum is. Right? I start from level 0, and if I go down to -3, sometime I go up to +6, the answer will be 9. Yeah, if you want to promote some Discord, then maybe ask about that. If it's just a random link to your own Discord, then that's not nice of you. What if we didn't start at 0 though? Okay. So I want to be between those two lines, but I can decide where I start. But the only idea I still have to work with this string is to start with all question marks changed to -1. We're solving this problem, by the way. So if I do -1, then I don't know where I start, but we do this. Okay, maybe I start somewhere, keep having -1s instead of question marks, and now once the maximum would be greater than minimum, the difference between max and min would be too big, then I can change something. And I need to change something between those two positions, and if this earlier there was minimum, maybe this is the situation. If this was the last minimum, then I need to for sure change something here, from up to down. Now should I change the rightmost or leftmost? Do I care about this part of the drawing? Well, if I change this from up to down, then my minimum will shift more to the right, and that's then harder to satisfy. So if the drawing is like this, I cannot change something here. I think I go from left to right. So keep a range of possible positions. I can be in character I. I didn't get that far. I think I have some drawing, and because I binary search of the answer, I want to check if I can be in bounds k. Like if this can be a limit for max minus min. And I replace all question marks with, let's say, move up. And when I'm now too high, so max minus minimum so far, the current position minus minimum so far, If it exceeds k, it means I need to modify something in this interval. And I think I will modify the leftmost of those things. If blue was question marks, this was question mark, this was question mark, this was question mark, I think I will take this one. And then the only thing that happens, it's not allowed if it's here. Because should I change something here? At the start you can be anywhere from 0 to k. If you find -1, now you can be from 0 to k plus 1 to -1. Yeah, but what do I do with question marks? Rogue Dragon, if your code is wrong and you check it and you don't see a mistake, then their explanation is just that you don't see a mistake. You can Google what segmentation fault means. Oh, if you are in AB, now you can be anywhere in A minus 1, B plus 1. Oh. Oh. I don't really care how question marks are replaced. Huh, so we don't think about this graph. We just think, I now realized what file is telling me. If I want to be in this range, and those positions are numbered 0, 1, 2, 3, and so on, then initially I can be anywhere in this interval, from 0 to k. Okay, when there is move up, then for sure a moment ago I wasn't here. So at the start, apparently I was from 0 to k minus 1. Start is somewhere here. Let's say that there is another move up now. It means that I must be here. Wait, do I keep interval for my current position or the final position? The current position is fine. So when I go up, it just means I cannot be in 0. If a moment ago I could be in interval AB, then after a moment, if I go up, it will be an interval from A plus 1 to B plus 1. A plus 1, B plus 1. Of course, B is plus 1, both are minimized with K. With minus, then it's just similar. I will only need to think if I care about the parity. But this seems very easy. I will copy this old b.cpp. I think I'm back now. Yeah. Chat, tell me when I'm up. I think you didn't lose a lot. The good thing is that I got a new internet provider, and starting from Thursday, I will have new internet connection. Chat, do you see me now? I don't see any new messages, so maybe something is still wrong. I see myself. Okay. Back. As I said, on Thursday, 2 days from now, new internet provider. So I will be a normal streamer now, not without those half a minute split. Also, I will have quite fixed schedule. Again, reminder. Tuesday, hard problem solving, hard competitive programming. Thursday, coding interviews. And likely Saturday, easy competitive programming. That's the plan. Every time on evening. How much do you pay for internet? I will like $25 now a month, and it will be $15 a month. But just, I got an agreement a long time ago, and it was more expensive back then. Okay, I maintain the interval. No. If interval is empty, then break. If interval is empty, was ever empty, then I need bigger range. I was very far away with all my ideas, and also this is why I didn't solve it during the contest. For sure, I investigated similar ideas. So cheap, I pay $80, different country. They say it's possible to maintain one here. Let's see, 0, 1, go down, 0, 0, 0, 1, 0. Something is wrong here. I cannot go up at all. If I'm at 1, 1 and I go up, I think that those updates are fine, but this one isn't. If I have right now interval 1, 1, it's wrong to say that I can go up. But I'm not that sure about that. So what is it now? After going down, 0, 0, question mark, If something is like 0, 5 and then I have a question mark, I can be indeed in 0, 6. But if it's just one element, I can be in 2 neighbors. Maybe a special case is when I have interval of size 1. Because then sometimes I need to shrink. It's not about that. Okay. This is interval of size 1. Then I can go to the 2 neighbors, but only if they are available. Okay, so it's only here that something really changes. If L is equal R. If they are both 0, else if they are both k, and else do the normal thing. I'm streaming for 1 hour already. I got help from people who already know the solution, and I got the wrong answer. Maybe I need to care about parity, because if I'm in like 5-5, I need to be in this interval. Then there is question mark. I can be in 4-6, but maybe it's important to say that 5 is not possible here. I must be in 4 or in 6. So now if k is 6 and I go up, I should be in 5-5. So maybe an extra thing is Boolean flag to say if we can be in all numbers in the interval, or maybe also those with the same parity as left and right. I can try to create a test. Yeah, let's try to make a test for this. If there is, let's say, 0, 3, and then it's down, 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 then I must be in 0. Up must be in 1. Question mark, now it's 0 or 2. Down. Now, after this program things that I can be in, wait, I was in 0, 2, program things that I can be in 0, 1, really, I can be only in 1, 1. So now, if I go up, 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 program things says it's ok, and really it's not okay, because from 1 I cannot go with 3 ups. So that's a test you can check. Every down means 0, up means 1, question mark is the same. Yeah, program thinks that 3 is possible, and I analyze it and it's impossible, but let's check. If it's 0 here, if it's 1 here, yep. Okay, this is the wrong answer, because I replaced in 2 possible ways, and in both my programs said it's 4. But if question mark, it says it's 3. So what, the Boolean parity flag? So again, if you know a solution and you are in the chat, please tell me if it makes sense what I'm doing. This will say if all values in this interval are possible. Pepega, is that some kind of Pepe the Frog thing? I don't know what that is. Oh. I'm not smart enough to solve this problem, but I'm all for Boolean flags. Thank you, Mar. Rogue Dragon, like, You're asking strange questions. If you solved a lot of problems, then you can solve problems. Only this party. If R is K and not all are possible, but only the same parity, then L++, let's say we are from 1 to 5. This will be from 2 to, when it goes, R minus minus. Or maybe instead of doing it here, I could do it here at the end. If this becomes interval of size 1, then I say that only now one parity is possible. Also, I could run my algorithm twice. Once I would assume that I start with even, and once with odd parity. So we have this. Later I will analyze that. But now if is -1, if all, then L is 0, else L is 1. Maybe. Issue on line 39. Why? Maybe this is after I changed something. When starting out, when you were starting out competitive programming, how did you not get intimidated? I don't know, some problems were always hard. I think my fix didn't help. It made things a lot worse. I had the wrong answer on 11 tests. Now it's 24, but I fixed test number 2. Now I don't really need this, because the parity, the Boolean flag takes care of that. Using Genie is unforgivable. Vim forever. You convinced me now. I will switch. You know what is much easier in Genie? Closing it. If I open Vim once, how will I do anything else? Okay, what can I do? I can write a brute force, write some stress testing. Brute force is easy, but I will just skip the step of writing brute force and I will copy somebody's solution. colon WQ. How did I not think about it? Yeah, of course. Colon WQ closes every window, everything. Not this. Submissions. All submissions. Problem B. Okay. Expand. Copy. ACCPP. Generator. Zero one this. Sorry that I didn't see the code. Gen 1 and a script. I need to modify. I need to compare B with accepted. How do you check without white lines this? I mean white spaces? Interesting. 0. That's not correct. So what happens when I have interval 0, 0? And a question mark. Then I have from -1 to 1. Okay, I see. Well, there is an easy fix. I can just binary search from 1 to n. Indeed, 1 behaves strangely. Yeah, I incorrectly said that. Okay, 3 should be enough. What will happen for 3? I have 0, 3, then question mark, so still 0, 3, 0, 0. I don't see why my program doesn't think that 3 is possible. If case equal 3, and print everything. Well, that's not correct. The scope is wrong. I want to do it separately for every iteration of binary search. Okay, finally. This stream is hour and 19 minutes, so I'm solving problem B from a contest for 1 hour. Damn it. Accepted. I see chat is debating again on which editor is the best. Can I explain the solution? Easy problem B, exactly. Can I explain the solution? I think I talked the whole time. I explained the solution. I check if I can be in interval from 0 to k. Initially, if I need to fit between 0 and k, initially I can be in whatever, but if I now go with a step up, then now I can be from 1 to k. I cannot, after a step up, be in position 0. And generally, when I go step up, I do this transformation of interval where I now can be. What is the allowed prefix sum so far, where I don't know. I'm saying that I can start with prefix sum equal to 5. Just important that the difference between minimum and maximum is important. And by shifting with prefix sum, initial prefix sum, I don't change that fact. I wish we had night mode in Twitch. Like Twitch has a night mode. This thing. Or do you mean you want the whole stream to change for you? That's harder to achieve. Okay, easy B, 1 hour only. Now C, I will solve it in 5 minutes and I will be on the way to solving everything. Easy. Code forces tomorrow? I don't know, maybe if I have time. Don't worry, we have a whole night. But I didn't want to spend the whole night on one contest. Okay, now some combinatorics or DP. That's better. Just A consecutive characters, replace each of them with 0. Just B consecutive characters, replace each of them with 1. It doesn't really matter that initially every character index is 0. There could be ones and I can replace with everything. Okay, so like any process, any problem with stamps where you replace some part of the sequence or drawing, we usually process that backwards. If there is this sequence, final sequence, if you find a consecutive zeros, you can say that this is the last move. And now you analyze the second last move. Maybe we can do 3 times 0, or we can do 5 times 1. And then if now there's 1 here and 1 here, maybe second last move was to do this. I can iterate over let's assume that the first character is 0 or that it's 1. If the first 3 characters are zeros, do I play Among Us? Yes, I do. Among Us is amazing. I'm gathering a group of competitive programmers to play with during a stream. So if I know you and you are a good competitive programmer, then write to me in priv. I already have like 5 people. Maybe we will play this weekend. Maybe I iterate over what the first character can be. If the first character is 0, minimum rating to join your Among Us games. I need to know you to play with you, basically, let's say. If I say to 1,000 people, hey, let's play Among Us, then how do I choose 10 people? It's possible that the string looks like this: 0, 1, 0, 1, 0, 1, 0, 1, but eventually it needs to be more regular. So maybe the last move is to do this, then that, and so on. Whoever joins first, well, this is what we did in Discord, right? But it's not a perfect solution. If we model the B problem in brackets, Errichto might solve it much faster. I don't think so. I realized that the previous problem was equivalent to talking about the brackets. I know that -1s and 1s are the same as brackets, so not really. Brackets is actually, yeah, the same as this graph up and down. For a given sequence, maybe uniquely I can say what was the process of creating this sequence. Find the leftmost position where I can put some whole string, 3 zeros or 5 ones. Say that we do that, and we change that into question marks. Like after dealing with those zeros, you say zeros no more, those are question marks. Now again, find the leftmost possible position where we can put the whole stamp, 5 ones or 3 zeros. How will this work in some DP? Because I'm not given the sequence. If I can create a sequence, can I always create a sequence with one more element? No. If I can create this sequence in some way, then can I also create this sequence if I append 0? Yes, because I can say that first we put 3 zeros here and then do whatever process there was previously. So if string s is possible, then s with one more character, like with a 0, is also possible. It's a good string. Maybe s was bad, but now with an extra character, this string is good. When is it possible? When, thanks to this 0, I can make some new moves. Thanks to this, I can make a move of zeros here. Previously, I could make this move anyway, but maybe I didn't want to mess up this value. This makes sense. There is one right here, and it needs to be created earlier for whatever reason. Okay, already put ones there. Then the last move is, let's say, to do zeros. Hmm. If I put the longer thing 1 1 1 1 1 somewhere, then the two parts of the string become independent. If the string has any bit 1, so it's 0 0, a lot of zeros, then there is the first one, then it's something. What can I say about this string? Still we work with 5 ones in a row, 3 zeros. What can I say? If there are so many zeros on the left, then I can deal with them. Like at the end, for example, I can put a stamp here and here, it's all fine. If one is so far away from the left side, then also I can easily deal with this one. Basically, in this case, I can say that as long as I can create this string where it's allowed to override that, I'm fine. Okay, now what if that this might be something like dp p of the remaining length n, and maybe some information about how many characters there are on the left, where I can write over them, because anyway I will fix that prefix. Isn't it similar to question how many times I can put bricks with those widths? Blah blah. No, because we overwrite here. Haven't you proved that having A zeros and B ones is good enough? I don't know what you're talking about. For sure, I'm thinking about DP. But okay, so that's the easy case. Just say how many strings I need DP for how many strings of some length I can create. Maybe with the fact that I can also, the stamps can go on the left from the string as well. But if I remove a few characters here, like this, what exactly happens now? There must be a move of putting zeros here, and after that there must be a move of putting ones there. So the fact that I'm putting zeros here, it's overwritten after that. So I can just say that I recursively go to this part and I want this to be a solvable string with a 1 here. It's like, give me the number of strings where of this remaining length and -1, where 1 is the first thing. I think it's the same if there is 0 here. But it might be different if 0 is here. If 0 is here, then still I need to say the same. Blue goes before red. To make 0 in the first position, I need to do this. And then red 1 must be later to overwrite on the third position. Now, what happens if there are 3 zeros? Then I can say that this is the very last move, and then it might be a bit easier to create the whole string. Then I will ask about dp of this n, where strings can go to the left. I can put such a stamp. So this is like extra prefix thing. Okay, now what if first we have a 1, then will it be a similar situation? If I have a lot of 1s and then 0, then I can say do whatever with them. But if 1s is longer, I can do this and then 0s. Still, it sounds fine to just say that we go recursively to this part, I mean with dp, and it's okay to have such strings, then I can override. What happens if there are only like 2 1s and then 0? Then after first this happened, I put a 1 there, then red, this must be 0. In particular, maybe this blue thing, depending on the input, is longer than red. Yeah, what about that? Anybody else experiencing stream lag? Fine for me. My OBS says everything is fine. Geckos, no, I don't have time to think about ideas that are not even problems. You need to get better in problem solving before creating rounds yourself. I cannot just recursively go to this part because I have information that I reach somewhere with 1s. Can this be 1? If this is 1, it means that after 0s, then I use 1s here, like that. Then it doesn't really matter that I did this with blue. But if this is 0, 0, then that's possible. And what? If there is at least one bit 1 here, then I don't care about this part, because for sure after red there is something like that. If there are only 0s, then I need to know that I have this part, maybe this. I go recursively to this string and I know that the first X characters are 1s by default. Maybe it's like that. Maybe it's dp of n, the remaining length, or the already covered length, and bit 0 or 1, two possibilities, and how far I still reach. Let's call it R, like range or reach. And it means that I used a move with this bit, and it still has this length. If I go just 1 by 1, this is a bit stupid, because it might happen for my sequence that I'm in this position and I have a short move here. I also have a longer move, longer stamp. Then I need to kind of remember both. Geckods, sorry. You really need to just get better first. You will likely only waste time for another high-rated user. If you're a master, then think about problems and try to solve them yourself. From this, if we decide to use blue here, then it seems reasonable to jump all the way here. Unless we use red like that, but then it doesn't matter, we can forget about this red. So at this yellow moment, when I start blue, I need to say that either I get to the end of blue interval immediately, okay. Also, if blue is inside red, it only makes sense if blue is later. For this red and blue, the order matters. Okay, but for this yellow, even if we jump here, we need to say that it's allowed to extend this red thing to be like that. Maybe I can resolve this with the following idea. I can take, instead of taking consecutive A characters, let's say that we can do consecutive A or more characters. So when I say that 3 zeros in a row, this also allows for 3 or 4 zeros, 5 zeros, and so on. Then it doesn't make any sense to put extra red here like that, does it? Not if those two reds have the same priority. Maybe there is something blue that is more important than one of them, but not more than the other. The height will mean how important something is. If this is red, then what happens if this is the blue? Well, if it's below this, then it doesn't really exist. Can be like, if it's like that, then this is hidden completely. If it's like this, then I can just say that this red is longer. If it's like that, so this part is hidden. It doesn't hurt to make this longer, does it? Even infinitely long? maybe. Just I can say that the rest of the drawing is here. Well, this can also be infinitely long. No, that's stupid. If A is equal B, can't we basically say that only the last operation is really constraining? Yeah, A equal B is quite easy. I think during the contest I first thought about A equal to B, so that now I didn't really start from that. Thinking about A equal B might be a good idea, Adam. And then if A equal B, then there will be that last stamp. And then the second last one could be here or there. So basically, if there are A characters in a row, the same, then we can retrieve anything else. Like let's say A equal B equal 4. Then if you want to create this string, it's possible. Just say that this is the last operation, then this is the second last, third last, fourth last, and also go to the left. That's easy. There are so many here ideas, possible orders. I might spend like 1 more hour investigating different possibilities. As always, I'm going to look at the prefix of editorial to get closer to a solution, not this editorial. Then maybe I will have time to also think about 1 more problem today. This is C. Okay. We assume A smaller equal B. A bit sequence can be the string X after operations if only if the following condition holds. Change all A. A is short. Change all A or more consecutive zeros to ones. Now we have B or more consecutive ones somewhere. Change all A or more consecutive zeros to ones. Oh, similarly to this, they say that if we... that was easy. If the longer of 2 intervals is, let's say, 7, once we do it at the end, again we can get any characters to the right and to the left. Okay, then it's just about getting a single longer operation. So does a string allow us to do a single longer operation, like looking backwards? Yes, if there are 7 ones in a row. But first, before we change ones, and again, we look from the end, there are some intervals where we can replace zeros with question marks. Well, that was easy. And now the A equal B case was more similar to the full solution than I thought. Yes, I also didn't think that it will be that easy. Not that easy. That similar to A equal to B. I think I see cubic DP, where we go through the sequence. If we are somewhere, then we care about dp of, well, this position I, and how many ones we have in a row, where we also count, let's say that 2 zeros in a row are also enough. If there were 2 zeros in a row, that's also counted. So here we say that there are 4 ones. 4 times 1. If right now we have few zeros, there will be 0 here, and we are there. I don't want to have another dimension, but maybe I can jump with zeros. If there are 2 or more zeros, so to every position here, here, I will just jump. So, I iterate to decrease the number of states, to decrease memory first. I can say that I jump to the next one. And if I jump somewhere here, then I need to suddenly start a new sequence of ones. Yes, that will be easy. I'm here. And cubic will be iterate over where the next one is. If it's somewhere here, then we restart the sequence of ones. If it's later, we say it is continued. And this will be done with some prefix sums in DP. Maybe instead of length, how many ones we have, I will have dp of start of ones. Where is the first one of my interval, currently ongoing interval, and where I am right now. Then from that fixed start, iterate over I to the right. Then I know that everything so far was already ones, or something I can change into ones. And then to those guys, I just need to increase, their positions by my dp value. And those are messed up, so to them I just increase that dp of s prime, like new start, and here 0, dp of, for every x here, let's say dp of xx, but this will be a separate array, maybe dp start of j. Increase this by my dp value for everything in this interval. So this is j. This means how many ways there are to get there without already solving the problem. So getting a long enough sequence of ones. That should be quadratic. Do I have memory for quadratic space complexity? Yes, I do. Oh, stress testing was there for the whole time. It checked 200,000 tests, but for sure a lot of them were the same. Modulo billion 7. Start at J will mean that I have a single one there. Say that A will be longer. DPS of I is 1. This means that there is a single way to put a 1 there, and everything so far was zeros. No, that's stupid. If everything so far was zeros, then I would replace them with a 1. So it's more like I start from there, but am I forced to put 1 or not? It seems that I need to do this. Start from position 0, but maybe I will need to distinguish position 0 from the remaining n-2 positions. For the start, I will have actually linear DP. No, I start with this thing. This will be normal DP inside. Start with that for every position I am right here. I iterate over position of the next one. I can first do that with a brute force. Iterate over first one. Or like next, because if I'm, let's say, here at dp of I think I need to say that this is a 1, because I said you need to be 1. It is not true just for the very first position. Iterate over next one. I plus B, next. There is one here, let's assume, on position I. If I am up to position I plus B, then I cannot replace zeros with ones. So now, in this case, everything is messed up. I need to say dp start of next plus equal dp of I. Just with a modulo. When's the next stream? In 2 days. Then I will do coding interviews. And on weekend, maybe Saturday, easy competitive programming. Yes, LeetCode on Thursday, or binarysearch.com. Saturday will be easy competitive programming, or maybe Among Us. I plus B. If 1 is anywhere there, and then do that. And this says that my sequence of ones still continues. Yep. Well, if I'm on position 0, then I don't necessarily put 1 here. I need to start like that. S is 0. No. It's special if S is equal to 0, right? If S is 0 and I is 0, only then it's special. Then I need to iterate over 0 here instead of I plus 1. So only if this is the case, then also S must be 0. But then if I is on position B, then already it's something special. So this is 1 if I is 0. What was that a moment ago? It was wrong. Why do I have the same thing here and there? That's stupid. Normally, if 2 units away, then there is only 1 unit in before. So this should have been plus 1. Right? Because if it's 0, then this will point to 2. Yes, it's correct. Yes, we are solving problem C. This one. You can Google that problem name and Atcoder something to read the full statement. Did I close? Strange. I closed some tab that should be here open, but whatever. I should also check if I already have enough ones. If S minus I minus S plus 1, because S was the first one. No, that's not true for S equal to 0. Damn it. But if it's greater or equal than A, then everything is possible. I'm on position I, so I should say that answer plus equal dp of I times a power of 2. Everything from I to the right, we choose each thing with 2 possibilities. power of 2. With what exponent? If I'm at position n minus 1, it should be nothing. So n minus I minus 1. Okay. 2 of 0 is 1. If the sequence is all zeros, I can also change it into 1. It's also fine if there is no digit 1. This is what I'm saying. Maybe I will need to add 1 to the answer. Still, I see a lot of issues, especially with s equal to 0, because then this formula is off by 1. Wait, if the next one is on the right from me, just by 1 position, then it still continues the series. So no, I just need to say something like that. dp of I plus 1 add the current dp. There is 1 here, there is 1 to the right. I will solve s equal to 0 in another way. What does this program do? It tries to solve this problem. You can type today or contest to get the link. So now, starting from that, if I will be 2 positions away, then we start a new interval of 1s. Okay, we have this. I would even say smaller equal. Smaller equal means that, oh, I know what I will do. Allow this, but ending at position n will mean something special. So dp of n will be the number of ways so that zeros are there till the end, and I should count them. Just to trigger this. If it's like 1, 1, a few zeros, and I need 4 ones in a row, then this is fine, because all those zeros will be changed to ones. Now to me this works except for s equal to 0. think I know how to handle that. I will say that TPO start equal to 0 is 1. This is a case where this is really 1. Then if there were zeros and then 1 on this position, and what for all of those cases? If the first one ever is here, oh, I know. Tear it over the position of the first one and just say that dp of s, dp of next at 1. There was a prefix of zeros, but it is changed to ones. Great. Now this is not necessary, because I really want to say that this is 1. And I'm done. As always with DP, likely something is wrong and then it's about printing some debug information. GDB C in runtime error happened in line 72. This. That's quite close. Would be better to test with a bit smaller test. Let me replace this with maybe length 3 and 1, 2. 15. That's obviously too many because there are only 8 strings of length 3. But yeah, then this is more reasonable. Print also dp start. dp of this was 1. Every 0 could be changed to that other thing. Oh, but if that's the case, if I'm already finishing, then I need to hit continue to avoid some kind of double counting. Yeah, now it's better. Maybe I need to just increase by 1 and I'm good. Was the answer really 7 here? Is there one string I cannot change? So I don't think so. 3, 1, 2. Let's save it as in 0. $580. Nope. I have 2 compilation buttons if you don't know. One to print all the debug information and one without. Debug. I think there is an issue here, so let's debug this. I think that the answer should be 8. For any string, it's possible to change all zeros into ones and then we're good. One, two, two, one. Let's think. There is, I investigate sequences of length 3. It's possible that there is one here, or that this is 0. One, two, B is smaller, so this does nothing. I'm only interested in starting indeed here. This is 0. Iterate from 1 to n. Add a possibility that we have zeros, and this is the first one. But I think I never count a possibility that everything is 0. So what I think should really happen is I should put this here, and the answer will now be 8, but it will be messed up here, and I think it's a mistake with this test. But I will investigate DP values for this simpler test, so we'll check if this makes sense. 1, 2, 2, 2. If there is 0 here, then if this is 1, then I can put 1 here, and that will already finish the job. This adds here and nothing further. Yeah. So with this, from 1 up to n, I increase by 1, like that. Then I consider that 1 will be here. I consider that 1 will be here, and that the next one is here. Then for every next position, I already say that I finished. So I agree with those DP values. And why is the answer 8? Oh, because it's the sum of those two and this multiplied by the number of ways to do something for the third character. Okay. Now something more difficult. We need to analyze this test. The answer should be 11. There are 4 positions. Do I ever use A? Oh yes, here. That's correct. B is 2. I can list down all the good strings. Done. Those are all the bit masks, and now if there are 2 or more consecutive zeros, I can change them into ones, and I care when after that I will have at least 3 consecutive ones. Good, good. This is bad. This is bad. bet. Yeah, those 5 are bad, so the remaining 11 are good. From this, maybe I can check if all of that, if those numbers, if they make sense. For each string, I can investigate when I'm done. So this is s equals 0, I equal 0, 1, 2, 3, 4. 0, I equal 3. 0, I equal 2. Same, doesn't matter what was there on the right. Now this is, I think, s equal to 1, I equal to 4. I will sum this up and compare with my values printed by my program, and I will see in what moment I skip something. I'm enough with that many. Okay. Now, for s equal to 0, there are 3 cases when I is 4. I see 4 cases here. Oh, but this is s equal to 1. Never mind. Okay, there are 3 indeed. Then there are 2 cases with s0, i3. S0, i3. S0, i3. Correct. Now, S0, i2. 1, 2, 3, 4. And indeed, this is multiplied by the length to the end at power 2. I mean, 2 power that. So we're good. S is 0 is fine. And then S equal to 1 is here, there, and that's it. S equal to 1. There is 1 value here, 1 there, and this is not enough to win. Good. S equal to 2 never happens. And I incorrectly think that this is the case. Is it possible that I start from that? Yes, if it's something like 1, 0, 1. I think I understand. When in this condition about finishing, I assume that I am 1. But I should assume so only if I'm still in the range. Yep. Just give me accepted on the big test, and then we can submit 8 to 8. The end is 2, 4. Finally. Is it fast enough? And is it quadratic? No, it's cubic. This is my brute force. How is that? How am I supposed to solve this during the contest? But this is some operation in an interval. Just slap prefix sums, like running sums at the top of that. Cubic indeed ain't good. If n is up to 5000, then it must be quadratic. That's easy. That's easy. First, copy this. Alt c.cpp. Always after copying something in terminal, I type ls, And that's arbitrary command. I don't care about it. What I care about is that it happened to me in the past that I would copy code, then I would want to run something again on samples. And automatically I open a command, then arrow up, enter. So it happened to me in the past that I would overwrite this copy file. I wouldn't want to say copy blah blah blah, and then arrow up would bring again that command, enter will execute it. This is Atcoder Grand Contest. You're not supposed to solve problems, you're supposed to suffer. I think that this is at least division 1D in code forces, and it couldn't be easy one. Isn't that what's happening? You mean in terminal? Or the suffering part? If I type ls, then that's my guard. If I type arrow up and enter, I will just run ls again. I don't want to overwrite copying by mistake after like rewriting c.cpp. I don't want to ever overwrite this again. Okay, this is the only place, so easy just say if you're still in range, then add dp of I. To this, and that will be forever. Pref dp of n plus 1. When I'm at any I, if I add self and add self dp of I, comma pref dp of I. This should resolve one for loop. Fine. Now the other one. Self. This thing. One plus this index, add minus dp of I. This is modulo minus dp of I, modulo this. Right. So now from this position to this -1, I'm adding. And just like I did prefix sums for dp, I need prefix sums for dp start. If s is not 0, then prefix dp start. I'm trying to access something illegal because I'm doing 1 plus something, right? Yeah. And just this should be, if this doesn't exceed, then as well I can increase this by 1. No? Oh, because the same is here. If I plus 2 smaller than n. fine. Off by 1 errors. Yeah, that's very common in DP, especially if you count something like in this problem, or when you deal with intervals, and it's very important if it's up to I or I plus 1. We are at n square, yes. Linear space, quadratic time, but I can easily check if it is quadratic by testing. Yeah, this worked in 60 milliseconds, so it is quadratic, not cubic. Finally. With editorial and extra 2 hours, I was able to solve BNC. Nice. Something that people did without editorial in 40 minutes. Yay. Hooray. And the other problem I can try is D. Here 0 and 1 solve, so I'm not touching that. That's above my level. Oh, I spent a lot of time on this problem. I know some insight. Maybe even I later read the editorial, not sure about that. But yeah, let me read. Choose a lamp that is on at the moment. Press button I with which switches the state of lamp PI. At every moment, Snook knows which lamps are on. Snook wins if all lamps are on. Okay. Initially, lamps like that are on. You need to solve EF to increase that 0-1 count so that others cannot look at 0-1 and they also solve it. But this is the count from the contest. It's not code forces count. This doesn't mean that nobody solved it after the contest. So I don't need to be pioneer. I'm fine. We can check how many people solved it later by going to not my submissions, all submissions. Task F, let's say. Search. See, people solved it. If we also go to status accepted, we get 2 pages. Each page is what, 20 entries? With some repetitions? Yes, it's around 20. I would say 20 people solved it so far, maybe 30. But no, with editorial, you can also just open the editorial and try to implement that. Oh, I need to, before going to D, I will finish reading this. And well, my code is quite complicated. Okay, their DP is completely different. We can easily count the sequences without A or more consecutive zeros, or B or more consecutive ones by DP. Yeah, that's just remember the last character and how many characters there were. Now we have to consider how we can insert 0 or more consecutive zeros for each n. I see. I think I understand. So in this DP, well, if we are in some position, let's say that we do linear DP, linear number of states, but then from every position we linearly go through where is the next interval of something, interval of zeros or interval of ones. If we don't want any A consecutive zeros or B consecutive ones, then we just iterate how long the next interval will be up to A minus 1 or up to B minus 1. So easy. And now we say that I want to know how many ways there are to do such a jump with ones, but also some zeros inside. And there can be a lot of zeros inside, but the total number of ones is not enough. I think I see it. I might want to implement this solution too. That might be more educational than just going with D now, because I already spent a lot of time on D, and later I've read the editorial, and back then I knew the solution, I think, for D. But this is something new. But I'm happy that I came up with other solution and it worked. For the second part, of course, the first part is the important insight. So, yeah, it will be something like this. Say if I am at this position, I iterate over the next interval length. So how long? Like, I don't know. Iterate over how many zeros I want to use. And then I will finish at this position. Or iterate over how many ones I will use. It will be at this position. But also it's not that I want to use 5 ones in a row and then 10 ones in a row, because that would be one block. So actually this should be this should indicate what bit I'm now using. What bit I now need to use, let's say. Something like that. All right. This counts strings where I can do nothing. We are back at this problem. A is not declared. Sure. Plus, you need to obviously worry about going outside of the array, but that's not my concern right now. And now they say I need to pre-compute. Here's some multiplier to say that here this should say the number of strings of length len where the first and last bit are ones, and I cannot resolve this substring. Maybe there are a zeros somewhere inside, but in total this substring cannot be done. This seems just like dp for smaller n, the answer for smaller n. But the first and last bit, I think, I want them to be 1. Not a big deal. They say it can be done easily. I would say just dp. How did they call that? You can easily count sequences without a or more consecutive zeros or b or more consecutive ones. Yeah. Okay. So it's more like this. I would say that for every n from 1 to uppercase n we need to do this. Where count of len is just dp value computed for smaller n. But this will be count 1 1, where I want first and last bit to be equal to 1. Such, like sad or what? I indeed solved the problem already. I got accepted with some complicated DP. And now I'm trying to understand the editorial. But if for every n I iterate over positions, this I don't see how to do this linearly. Oh, I see. These are just the same computations. So I just do this, and after I'm done with I know count 1 1 of I. Let's say that it's this, I don't know, whatever. Okay, that's it. Okay, I'm new to the stream, but I know you're from YouTube since 2019. That's nice to hear, as real. Yes, I think that I'm close enough here. Just this, with this we must say that the first is 1 and the last is 1. The last I can resolve. The first, maybe I need to separate the piece where they will be very similar. Just if I start like that, then I will get this. Yeah, that's doable. Maybe I will send that in top submissions for the problem, just ready code. I'm not going to implement this with details. I will just think about D for like half an hour. Status accepted, search. this is something completely different. This seems to be position, and this is how many digits of one type we have. But this code doesn't have any multipliers. It doesn't ever multiply two values other than this times 2. But when computing DP, not the answer. So it's not the solution from the editorial. Possible, true, false. If def capital. I see that some people like a lot of templates. Okay, we have multiplication. I don't really know what this is. So some numbers from combinatorics. Well, not really, because we have A here. So it's not really any numbers from combinatorics. Okay, I just assume that there are like 10 different solutions. Good enough for me. But I think I understand the editorial good enough. So now D, lamps and buttons. And that's the last problem of the stream, and I will not even necessarily finish it. The next stream will be on Thursday, and it will be coding interviews. If you scroll below the Twitch video thing, then you will see my schedule. The first A lamps are on. Some prefix of lamps is on, and when he clicks some lamp, then it will turn on some other lamp. Then, thanks to the fact that this lamp is on, we can change the state of some other lamp. And maybe this one, but we can click again to turn this on. And maybe through some other numbers here, we will get back to 1. Here everything is fine, and all of them will be on at the end after our cycle is done. But if this is a cycle of size 1, then we lose the game, because there is no way now to turn this lamp on. And if it's something like that, it's fine, because I can click 1 again and it will turn 2 back on. So it's just about this. If we ever meet cycle of size 1, we lose. But okay, also if there is something, if there is some cycle, maybe of size 1, without first a numbers, we lose. So this is a losing cycle, this is a losing cycle, but this is fine. Some suffix of this prefix of size A can be like this. This is okay. Ok. This is not okay. This is a loss, and this is a loss as well. Sad face. Just bad. Okay. We need to count permutations where every cycle hits the first A numbers, and the only single element cycles, so loops, self loops, in the sequence are the suffix of this. And this is now some combinatorics. The previous problem was the P, this one is combinatorics. A is small, N is big. But there are different things coming from different interpretations of permutations where we can use that. For example, size of permutation where 1 belongs, with probability 1n the size is 1, with probability 1n the size is 2, and so on. Every cycle size for a cycle with element 1, every cycle size has the same probability. What next? So after I use element 1, there is some probability for the fact that I used a few of those elements already. So maybe I need dp of I, the currently considered element, like this, and how many I killed of the prefix already. By killed, I mean I already considered their cycles because they belong to cycle with element 1. Or maybe just dp of I and how many different cycles we had or so far. After I considered, let's say, those two elements, I have some probability that they were in the same cycle and that they were in two different cycles. Depending on that, maybe I can get the probability that 3 is already taken in one of them. If not, then 3 is a new cycle. With some probability it will be cycle of size 1. Given this knowledge, can I quickly compute probability that next element is already used? I think I need some different interpretation of permutations. So that it might be useful to say that the permutation is like that. Let's say 6, 7, 1, 4, 2. The way to interpret this permutation is that we look for minimum, then we say anything on the left from it is the first cycle with element 1. Then again, in the remaining part, find the minimum, anything on the left is the next cycle, and so on. After 1 is considered, now here we have element 2. Every number is on the left with probability 50% from 2. after I considered 1, number 2 is, it exists with probability 50%. But if 2 was already killed, so if 1 and 2 are in the same cycle, what about number 3? Then I cannot say that it's 50-50, because 1 is on the right from 2, so it's not that everything is now symmetrical. 1 on average will have, let's say, n times 2/3 of all elements. Okay, I'm just not reinventing the wheel, but I'm trying to now solve a problem for which I knew the solution, I think, already months ago, because I worked half of the contest I worked on this problem, because I thought that I know all the necessary knowledge, all this permutation interpretation. So I'm not going to just repeat the same thought process, just quickly see the tutorial. Also because I'm ending a stream quite soon. Then quickly D. Yeah. Hello Grubby. Welcome to the chat and to the stream. Otherwise, he can turn all the lamps. Take the minute t inside this, and p of t is equal to t. Otherwise, after the sequence. Then for every this, oh no, inclusion, exclusion. I don't like it. I don't know it very well. So find the first t such that this is true. Sure. This is the interval, and this is the t. So this is the first value such that there is cycle, just a self loop. For every this, then for every I here, there is value less than or equal to t minus 1 containing I. I don't agree with that. Oh, the winning condition, right. Because, oh, yeah, they can be cycles, there can be cycles like that, and that's fine. So it's not that this is in the suffix, because this is fine if there are two elements and they point to each other. Just that those elements, they must occur in this prefix. Okay. The number of ways for that is And this is some self permutation, easy to compute. It's a minus t factorial. Now we ask how many ways there are to say that this prefix with those elements, those are some cycles. Count the permutations that satisfy the following conditions. For every this, why do they say outer solution? Oh, this is a link. I never understood that when they say outer solution, it's a link. Maybe because it's not blue. You can click that. Whoa. Count the permutations that satisfy. For every this, there is value less than or equal to a. The cycle. Okay, this is exactly the problem about even without this self loop. Let's say there are no self loops, then just let's guarantee that cycles starting from here, they contain u. There are permutations of this. Consider how we can add b elements into the cycles of these permutations. Okay, so those three elements, let's call them XYZ. There is some permutation of them. And now I have those elements, let's call them 1, 2, 3, 4. Then 1 goes somewhere inside, but must be after X or Z or Y. So 3 possibilities. Then 2, 3, and so on. Cannot be before X. And now we will interpret this as a cycle, this one. Cool. Then there are some extra elements. Those are, I think, elements from this suffix from after t, and they can be anywhere. Also here, I don't want to allow the case where x, z, y, where any of them doesn't have anything after them. But isn't there dp solution without? Oh no, because the n is big. N is big. I wanted to say that I care among those three elements. I will do some dp, and after every operation, I will know how many of those elements x, z, y are satisfied already. So it would be dp of a and n. But a is big, or like n is big. I cannot do that. Indeed, instead we need inclusion exclusion to subtract cases where, for example, x is empty and there is no 2 here. Yeah, exactly that. Yeah, I'm streaming for 3 hours already, and that's enough for me. I would prefer to keep those streams at 2 hours. Maybe next stream, before solving problems, I should first refresh my knowledge on inclusion exclusion, because usually what I do during contest is I guess if there is if it's just plus minus 1, or maybe I should subtract this with some binomial coefficients. I don't fully understand that principle. I don't know what coefficients I should use. So yeah, I will get back to this problem after understanding inclusion exclusion better. but it was still a fine stream. I solved those two problems, and I know most of the solution for D. So we are moving on in fixing the, in filling the whole table. But I only have now 1, 2, 3 contests that I fully solved. So, but problems F are usually very, very difficult. Well, I can also solve this contest because it was this was my contest. That's it. On Twitch, if you go to Twitch now or later, if you're watching name and scroll down, there is my schedule. I will try to do Tuesdays, Thursdays, Saturdays. It's hard, there isn't full name here. If you hover over it, there is hard Atcoder problems, coding interview, easy code versus an Atcoder. That's my schedule, and there is also a Discord server. If you enjoy my streams, then for sure you, maybe not for sure, then you might enjoy the server as well. Just to hang out or to discuss some problems, videos, I don't know. Yeah, and that's now it for today. Thank you everybody for watching. I hope you learned something with me. You enjoyed this process of seeing how I struggle with difficult Atcoder problems. Same thing same time next week, but on Thursday, in 2 days, there will be coding interview problems. And follow me on Twitch and YouTube not to miss anything. Thank you everybody for watching. Have a nice evening, night, day. Bye bye.